Hey folks, welcome again to the channel. Juan here from Physical Media EU. Today we want to do another 4K review, in this case this steelbook for American Psycho. Hello again and thanks for tuning in for another review. In this case we want to review this steelbook release of American Psycho. Before we start, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're interested in physical media, especially 4K reviews and other physical media collecting talk. Besides that, you can also find me on Instagram where I post detailed photos of all the items that I review. So now yes, we can begin taking a look at this steelbook. And I apologize for the ring reflection, so that's why I keep it at an angle. This steelbooks come from Lionsgate. You can see there the back of it. Maybe there you can read the synopsis if you are interested. Now it's a good moment to pause the video. And now if we come back to the front, we can remove this custom slipcover that it has, right? And then it reveals the face of Patrick Bateman. Here you have the slipcover on its own, which has that text there on the back. And now again, here you have the clean cover of the steelbook, and here is the back. And the steelbook, as you can see, has this quite bright finish, looks and feels quite sturdy, but even though, as you can see there, like there's like a little bit of wiggling there. That's not so nice, and it's something that I find to be happening more and more with steelbooks. I think the quality is not as good as it used to be, and especially when you see, for example, a steelbook from a premium boutique label like Manta Lab, for example, you can see that the quality is actually not that good in these normal ones. But with that said, this one still feels pretty good. But yeah, it has this probably something is not correctly aligned or something. So no, a little bit of a shame, but you can barely notice it, especially when it's inside the custom slip cover. Now, if we open this up, here are the discs, and also here you can see the inside art, which is all the business cards of the characters. In this case, Paul Allen. On the back is Patrick Bateman. There was also a coupon to redeem the movie digitally, which I have not done, but I imagine that it should redeem in 4K. And with that said, we can continue and talk about the contents of the discs. And the first thing to mention there is a positive thing, is that the content of both the Blu-ray and the disc is exactly the same, with of course technical variations, but the content is the same. And this is important to mention because the Blu-ray is region A locked. This is an American release, hence the region A in the disc. But in this case, it doesn't matter that much because the bonus features included in the Blu-ray disc is exactly the same as is included also in the 4K disc. So if you have a 4K player, then you don't need the Blu-ray for that player at least. Now in the 4K disc, the movie is presented with Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, and it does look great, probably the best this movie will ever see. But it's still not like a reference quality disc, right? It just looks great, but it's not gonna blow your mind. And I feel that is a similar situation with the audio track, which sounds very good, especially, you know, those scenes where the music is very high volume in the movie, and also those parts where Patrick Bateman is like narrating or talking on the back. Sounds very good, but it's not gonna blow your mind. Now moving on to the bonus features, there are two main bonus features included here. And one of them is about the adaptation from the novel to the movie, and the other one is about kind of like how this kind of culture was in the 80s in New York. And both are very interesting. And lastly, besides that, I think there's like 2 or 3 audio tracks with different commentaries. Now talking about other releases, this movie, that is of course a classic, has been released many times in different countries. There are very interesting releases out there. All the good ones, in my opinion, are sold out. So this one, for example, which was also sold out, I had to buy on eBay. But luckily I got it for a good price, because even though this is a limited release, it has been reprinted a couple of times. So if it's not available now, it might be a little later. But chances are that it will sell out again fast. That's what happened with this one. That's why I had to go to eBay. And I took a little bit of a chance there because it was a new seller with like 0 reviews. But he had for sale a couple of different movies at that time, and you could see that the pictures were legit, or at least all were taken in the same place. So even though it was a little risky, and the price was seductive enough, so I went with it. And from the releases from other countries, there is one, I think it's from Australia. I'm gonna put the photo up here, that includes a blood pack that comes here on the front. and it also includes the second movie, which I think a lot of people is not aware that it's a second movie of this one, but you know, ignorance is bliss. It's a movie that is better to have forgotten because it's nowhere close to the standards of this first one that is amazing. I rewatched it recently to make this review, and it was the first time watching in 4K, and I was like smiling so many times during the movie. I think it's such a good one, and that's why I wanted to have it in my collection, and I wanted a release that was not just the standard one. I wanted something more special, and even though steelbooks are not my preferred format for physical media, this one with the custom slipcover, I think it's quite smart, looks very nice, so I went with this one. But one thing to keep in mind with this kind of plastic protectors, slipcovers, is that they are extremely fragile. They crack very easily, they can get very easily damaged during shipping, and the images get scratched very easily. So for example, when you look for this kind of releases on eBay, for movies that have this kind of protectors, many times the cheap ones are because they have some cracked corner or something like that. Most of the time, sellers specify this and put a photo with the detail of it, but it's definitely something to be aware. And also, when you have the movie already, how will you handle it in your collection? I think it needs to be manipulated with care. That's all for the review. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and you're also welcome to follow on Instagram, which has the same handle, Physical Media EU, where you can find detailed photos of this release and also from the previous reviews. Lastly, I would love to hear on the comments if you have watched this movie. Did you even know that there was a second one? Do you own any of these releases, or are you looking forward to add it to your collection? Thank you so much for watching, and see you all at Okie Dogs.